Well, it's been a few weeks since I've been to a castle, so it's definitely time for one. Well, hello and welcome from Llansteffan Castle in Carmarthenshire on the South Wales coast. We're not actually that far away from Llan, the town we visited a few weeks ago. It's only 12 miles away by road, but as the crow flies, it's only about 4 miles away. And that's got its own castle, and it's famous as the hometown of Dylan Thomas. And if we head east, not far away in that direction, it was Kidwelly Castle. So we've been to Llan, we've been to Kidwelly. I'll put the links to those below, but I've never been to Llansteffan Castle. So it's a first for me and maybe for you too. Let's go and take a look. Well, like most of the castles in this area, it was built by the Normans back in the 12th century, but it sits on a much older site. There was an Iron Age fort here, which dates back to 600 BC. And you can see why the Iron Age people and the Normans built the castle here. We've got commanding views over the Tywi Estuary, and then out to sea. And when we walked up, we walked through all those trees. But when the Normans held it, that slope was stripped bare, so you could see people coming for miles. Well, the Normans were an invading force, so as you would expect, the early days of the castle were very turbulent. The Welsh first captured it back in 1146, and they held it until 1158. Then Llywelyn the Great captured it in 1215, and he held it until 1223. Then Llywelyn ap Griffiths captured it in 1257, and he held it until the 1260s before the Normans recaptured it and it was brought back under Norman rule. So those early days, there was a lot of to and fro-in between the Welsh and the Normans. Well, during the early 1400s, the castle was briefly captured by Owen Glyndwr, who held it until 1408. Then later, the gatehouse you can see over there, that was converted into residential accommodation. But following that, it began to fall into disrepair. The place was neglected and it became the ruins you see today. So let's go and have a look around. So a brief layout of the castle. You come in through the Great Gatehouse, which was there. And all this, what you see, is basically from the 13th century. So you come into the outer ward. Other features. There, that's the North Tower. Then over there, sorry, camera's at an angle, the East Bastion. Let me take you back past the gatehouse over there to that point. That's the West Tower. Then over there, that's the gatehouse to the inner ward. So let's have a look at those in a bit more detail. So I'm in the gatehouse, and you probably can see the grand fireplaces from when this was accommodation. But on the floor, there's a couple of grids and holes, and they were the locations of the two portcullises, and these were the murder holes, you know, the holes where they used to pour stuff down if they got somebody trapped there they didn't want. So on the floor here, this was the position for one of the portcullises, and these were the murder holes. So if you were trapped down there, they could pour hot oil over you and stuff like that. You are able to climb one of the towers. and you get great views at the top over the estuary and the town itself. So this is the main entrance of the gatehouse. If you look carefully, it's been bricked up. And there's a later entrance over there, but this was the original one. And when I was upstairs, looking down through where the portcullis was and the murder holes, it would have been into this section here. So if you look upwards, you can see the slots where the gate would have come down. You can see the murder holes. I must admit, I would have loved living in a castle and being the local lord, riding out, pillaging. Well, this is the gatehouse to the inner ward, or sometimes referred to as the upper ward in this case. And this area is the oldest part of the castle. This is where they had the earthen mound, timber surround, but during the 1200s, they replaced the timber with the stone structure. So I'm back in the inner ward, which would have been the oldest part of the castle. Obviously, you need a water source. Here's the well. And the inner ward did have a wall around it. And it did have quite a large tower, a round tower, but only the base of it remains. So let's take a quick look in the North Tower. Well, I'm in the section of the castle known as the East Bastion, and from here you've got commanding views over the estuary out to sea. I can see Worm's Head, Bristol Channel. It's not busy here, it's quite quiet. Free entry, only 9 miles from Carmarthen, easy to get to, and the car park below, that was free as well, which is unusual. Well, anyway, I forgot to mention the inner ward is referred to as the upper ward. And you can see why. You can see the mound. They utilised the Iron Age fort dating from 600 BC, and just over behind the gatehouse and behind the outer wall there are the original Iron Age defences down the side of the hill. So that was a look around Llansteffan Castle, another picturesque location on the South Wales coast. And there's more interesting videos coming up next. They are interesting, trust me, you're going to love them. You've made it this far, you're going to love the ones coming up next too. And I'll see you in one of those. Go on, I dare you. Go on, press the button, go on.